With a population of fewer than 3 million, Qatar is the smallest nation to ever host a World Cup. Therefore, it is important to properly safeguard the tournament's legacy. Adding up all of the expenses, including money spent on infrastructure, as well as the price of constructing new stadiums and repairing old ones, the World Cup this year is by far the most costly one ever. According to reports, Qatar has accumulated enormous debts of over $220 billion. In contrast, only a tiny $4.03 billion was spent on the 26th World Cup in Germany, but it must be remembered that the prices for Qatar's new stadiums are only in the range of $7 to $10 billion. The majority of the funds are being spent on infrastructure-related expenses, which are a component of Qatar 2030's overall strategy. The stadiums are all located within a 21-mile radius of the center of Doha and will be connected by a metro and tram system, allowing fans to attend many games on the same day despite the hot summer weather. To maintain a temperature of 27 degrees Celsius, solar-powered cooling technology is installed in each stadium. All stadiums are environmentally friendly, and their temperatures may be adjusted. In order to leave a lasting legacy for the World Cup, the tournament's planners have promised to construct stadiums with modular components that can be modified after the competition, well outside of Qatar's boundaries. After then, a football team will have only one stadium that it calls home. 6 of the remaining stadiums will have half their seats filled and be handed to poorer nations to assist them improve their sporting infrastructure, while one more stadium will be completely destroyed. Up to 22 additional stadiums might be built in emerging economies as a result of this action. After all of that, let's examine the 8 stadiums' distinctive designs in more detail. The opening game and the championship game, as well as other important games, will be played in Lusail venue, the tournament's centerpiece stadium. This stadium, which has the biggest capacity of any stadium, was designed by Foster Partners, and it can hold up to 80,000 people. Its design, which was influenced by phantom lanterns, is known for its dance of light and shadow. The appearance and shape of a Lusail are reminiscent of the elaborate ornamental designs found on bowls and other containers made during the Arab and Islamic world's golden period of art and craftsmanship. The stadium, which is located 10 kilometers from the Doha city center, opened this year well behind schedule. The majority of the seats will be taken out after the competition and donated to underdeveloped nations because the future city of Lusail won't require a football stadium after 2022. Albert Stadium comes in second. The Albert Stadium, one of the bigger venues, will host games all the way until the competition's semifinals. It will serve as the venue for 9 games, including the opening ceremony and the contest between the hosts Qatar and Ecuador. With 60,000 seats, this stadium has the second highest capacity. The arena is intended to symbolize Arab hospitality, and it is built to resemble the Bid al-Shah traditional Arab tent. The stadium's architecture reflects Qatar's history and present while serving as an example of sustainable development, because even in November, temperatures in Qatar may reach 30 degrees Celsius. It is the stadium that is the farthest from Doha, at a distance of 27 miles. Fans who don't want to leave may remain at the venue's opulent 5-star hotel and enjoy the upscale facilities at the newly established retail complex. Third place Allegiant Stadium, the sails of the Dell boats, which are traditional to Qatar, served as the inspiration for the futuristic design of the LG new stadium, which pays homage to the nautical history of the coastal communities. It has a retractable roof and a cutting-edge cooling system so that events may be held there year-round, even in the sweltering summer heat. Its world-famous late British Iraqi architect Zaha Hadid was responsible for its design. The amusing thing about this stadium is that when Hadid's design was originally shown and became popular, several people joked that it resembled a woman's intimate parts. The first World Cup stadium to be finished was Allegiant Stadium, which had a capacity of 40,000 back in the summer of May, around 1974, is the stadium's number. This stadium was constructed using 974 shipping containers and other modular steel pieces, which is a first for the World Cup and echoes the neighboring port and the area's industrial past. Because of the stadium's smart modular architecture, fewer common building materials than in a conventional stadium development were needed, which helped keep construction costs low. The only beachfront location with a breathtaking perspective of the Doha skyline is Stadium 974. The end product is an arena that is unique, brightly colored, and utterly contemporary. The stadium's idea was created by Fenwick, your Baron Architects. Education City Stadium, Position 5. This stadium is located inside the renowned Qatar Foundation, which is just outside of Doha City Center. After the World Cup, the Education City Stadium will host the national women's team's home games, hosting 6 games all the way until the quarterfinals. The stadium, which resembles a diamond and will be known as the Diamond in the Desert, is made to sparkle during the day and illuminate at night. The triangles on the stadium's front produce intricate mathematical patterns like diamonds, which seem to change color as the sun moves across the sky. The stadium's architecture is a testament to excellence, sturdiness, and tenacity, and it will be cherished for both the memories it will preserve and its potential future significance to the nation. The Ahmed Bin Ali Stadium is ranked 6th. Up to the quarterfinal round, this stadium, which also changed its name from the Al Ryan Stadium, will host 7 matches and is intended to be a representation of Qatari culture. The facade has elaborate designs that depict several aspects of Qatar, including its fauna and its history with trees. The surrounding hospitality spaces and retail shops will be designed to mimic sand dunes because the venue is next to a desert. The stadium, which is in Al Ryan, was mostly constructed on one half of the former playing field. The 7th stadium, Alpha Mahmoud Stadium, Ahmed Bin Ali Stadium, was built with materials. The Garcia, a customary woven camp worn by men in the Middle East, served as the model for this stadium, and images of the stadium make it clear. An essential component of the region's traditional attire is the Garcia. Additionally, it represents dignity and freedom. With a capacity of 40,000, this is the first World Cup arena constructed by Qatari architect Ibrahim Al-Jado. After the competition, the stadium will host a total of 8 World Cup games, as football games and other athletic events will be held in the arena's remaining 20,000 seats. The top stands of the stadium will be replaced with a boutique hotel, and a sports clinic will also open there. The area around the stadium will develop into a center for the neighborhood with facilities for many different sports. To guarantee that the area becomes a hive of activity and exercise, a number of retail and commercial spaces will also be built. Haifa International Stadium is ranked 8. One of the few stadiums open for the World Cup that Qatar was given was this one. Was it originally constructed in 1976 in front of 40,000 people? It also played home to the Emir Cup final in May of last year. Since it first opened, it has served as the nation's national stadium, and this year's World Cup will be played there after substantial renovations. The stadium underwent renovation and expansion in 2005 in preparation for its role as the focal point of Qatar's 2006 Asian Games. The Gulf Cup, the OFC Asian Cup, and the IAF Cup, and the IF World Athletics Championships were also held there in 2019. The stadium is the focal point of a Spire Zone, a sports complex that also contains the Spire Academy for Sports Excellence and several other athletic venues connected to the stadium by a bridge. The stadium has sweeping arcs and partially covered stands, is the 3-to-1 Qatar Olympic and Sports Museum, helping people understand how this place values its history while preparing for a promising future. These stadium building projects have had their fair share of criticism and controversy, just like any other large-scale construction endeavor. International criticism of the World Cup in Qatar has focused mostly on the country's abuses of human rights, rather than just its excessive cost. According to these claims, thousands of construction workers supposedly perished as a result of hazardous working conditions while constructing the stadiums. Many nations are currently debating whether or not to watch the World Cup due to stadium environmental problems and abuses of human rights. The majority of France's major cities have ruled against showing sporting events on large screens to the general public. Now that the competition is only a few days away, Qatar is ready to host the games. Reversing the choice to hold the games in Qatar is quite improbable. What do you think about these stadium construction projects? Leave your comments below. Also, click on this video to watch about other amazing world projects that will shock you completely.